What is something that is considered normal for a man to do, but if a woman does it then they will receive backlash? Growing up, I was bullied by most of my classmates about my facial hair. I felt super ugly and gross when they would laugh at me or ask me if I was a boy, and I always thought I was not normal. In late high school I got diagnosed with PCOS and hirsutism, and my PCP was really helpful in educating me about them. She even told me that many women have it and I don't have to feel ashamed of myself. I tried electrolysis, it didn't help much, and bleaching in my first year of college, and then COVID hit. I have been wearing my mask consistently since the start of COVID so I don't have to deal with people staring at my upper lip area. Knowing female friends who have struggled with facial hair and supporting each other has given me self-confidence in being who I am. After I said something like this one day, my grandpa told me like 15 years ago, "Why the hell would you be standing up all the time? You get piss everywhere. And it's not comfortable. Sit your ass down." My grandpa was a veteran, managed a steel mill for 35 years, could rebuild a car up until his 85th birthday, could design and build complex woodwork in a day. I woke up one day, and he had built a complete workbench with drawers from 7 to 10 a.m. The next day he used that workbench to build a park bench in 4 hours, and literally looked like a 5 feet 1 inch dwarf who got teleported to the modern world. I now feel zero shame about peeing sitting down. It's comfortable. I get this. I know a girl who has several times made fun of her boyfriend and laughing saying he pees sitting down in the morning. All I can think is my silence and utter disinterest is the best I can do in that situation. I rather think men who pee sitting down are superior. I'm hyperbolizing for silliness. But like seriously, it makes less of a mess, so that's a smart move. I didn't look the same as the boys at 10, but at 8 I still did. However, that was the summer when, first day of summer vacation, going outside to play on the swing set in our backyard, my mom told me I had to put a shirt on. In our own backyard. Technically, the neighbors could see if they had binoculars, or stood right at the edge of our property, but what a blow to my childhood freedom that was. It was just after 2nd grade, starting 3rd grade. My mom bought for me half-length undershirts for girls, think thin cotton sports bra, which I'd say was a sort of pre-training bra. I got my first training bra, I think, when I turned 10, and just starting to develop. Around age 8 I implicitly got the message from my parents that I had to start wearing one-piece bathing suits. I could sort of see why, because I started developing breasts already and I was embarrassed. Puberty hit at age 9. Before that I had always worn briefs and I hated the cold wet feeling on my stomach from the fabric. On the other hand, I refused to wear bikinis because that would have made the breasts even more explicit. Childhood was never the same after that. Sigh. Stupid jeans. Edit. A word and a sentence to clarify. One of my favorite memories is packing up my house with my parents when I was 7. It was 100 degrees. My dad took his shirt off, and so did I. At first my parents started to be like, and then they were like, "Carry on, little friend." I'd cry, but it was such a pivotal moment for me in terms of gender equality, and I still have a really great relationship with them to this day. They were adamant that anything boys are encouraged to do, girls should be as well. I just shared this, but one time when I was like 9, my dad, brother, and I drove from our house in Central Florida to South Florida to visit my uncle. It was late at night and we're like walking around the pool and the boys all take their shirts off because it's super hot and we were being silly. They said I could feel free to take mine off, but I, at like 9, felt like I actually couldn't because I was a girl. It makes me feel super loved and supported. They said I could play just like them, but sad that even so young I felt I couldn't. My dad and uncle were really wonderful men. When I first saw this, it was an older sister's friend and she would confidently throw her arms up in the air. My little teenage head exploded. I was almost mad nobody told me that was an option. Like, wait, we can do that? Question mark. Then I thought about it and realized nobody is going to call the cops on you to come kick your door in if you don't shave. Never went back. I'm chronically ill. fuck shaving. I don't even do my eyebrows most of the time and don't shave anything unless it's a special occasion. I'm well known for wearing shorts and not shaving my legs in summer. I don't have energy for that, nor do I want to spend an hour in the shower. As long as I'm clean and wearing clean clothes, the rest doesn't matter. I don't do makeup either. I dye my hair like once every 2 or 3 years, but I didn't even start dyeing it until I was in my 30s. And hardly ever. I don't care what other people think. I put my extra time and energy into more important things. One of our female teachers in high school shaved their head for Street Baldrick's foundation, and then she kept it like that for a few years after a few kids made fun of her for being bald. She owned the shit out of them. I will be honest. I had her and I did not like her, but I have so much respect for her and completely changed my opinion of her after that. We still keep in touch 10 years later. I also have one. I actually call her my soul mom. I had her for history in 8th grade, English in 9th, and then when I was gearing up to become a single mother, she responded to a Facebook post I made. She gave me a job and helped me fill out all of the paperwork needed to get on my feet for the first time. I had a horribly abusive childhood, and she was none the wiser until I began to work for her. She began to see the broken child in me, and she never stopped believing in my ability to do better. Her and her husband decided not to have children due to genetic risk, but my son calls them his grandparents. And I like to think it's worth something. I'm forever grateful to have finally found a mom when I was 27. I'm 29 now. I quit that job a year ago in order to respect our relationship, and it was the right choice in the best possible ways. When I had a pixie cut, women loved it, wanted to take pictures and tell me how cute it was. On the flip side, I'd have random men tell me how bad it looked and that I should grow my hair out. The guy I had just started dating when I decided to cut my hair told me that he didn't think he would want to talk to me anymore if I cut it off. Needless to say, that relationship didn't make it through the week and I kept my hair appointment. Bro, I killed me wife in the grocery store because of that daddy duty today crap. Let me explain. I was grocery shopping to see what I was going to make for dinner, and I had my 2 boys with me, 1 and 4 at the time. This older lady sees me and says, "All stuck with the kids today?" I respond, haha, no, we're still getting used to it just being us guys since mom left. She goes, what do you mean? I respond with, my wife passed during childbirth of my 1-year-old. It's still hard, but we take it day by day. Her jaw hit the damn floor and I walked away. I know this happens in real life, and I'm not trying to make light of a horrible situation, but dude, I actually enjoy being home with my kids. Only have my now 2-year-old since my daughter and 5 years are at school. Haha, I think a lot of the shock around women farting is that people weren't raised with a mother who had no qualms about farting in front of her children. I consider myself really fortunate because I had a mother who had no shame about anything. She had a boatload of boys and she'd fart in front of us, sometimes quite obnoxiously. She never shied away from talking about menstruation or sex or even making sexual comments. 2 stories in particular come to mind. One when I was around 8 or 9 when mom would use the bathroom, she always left the door open. Not when visitors were around, only when it was her family in the house. She said she did this because she wanted to be able to easily run if she ever heard something happen to one of us or heard us crying. Anyhow, so I'm around 8 or 9 and I walk into the bathroom and I'm sitting on the tub talking to her and I see she's slipping this thick pad onto a string that went around her waist. I asked her what it was and why she was doing that, and she said, well, you see, once a month a mommy grows this stuff in her tummy that makes it so a baby can grow inside her if a baby is there, but if there's no baby then the stuff comes out. The pad soaks that stuff up when it comes out so it doesn't get on my pants. The other story happened around 8 years or so later. Me, mom and a couple of my brothers were watching MTV when a Sod video came on. We are discussing how beautiful Sod was when my mother blurts out, Jesus, look at her mouth. She could fit 4 dicks in there. We collectively yelled, Jesus Christ, Mom. What the hell is wrong with you? She just laughed and was like, what? What? She does. Many years ago, I lived in a big city away from my family and Mom came to visit. We had taken the train to the airport for her to go home. I'd stepped into the elevator already, turned around, and I see her look left. Look right. Let this massive fart trip, and then she scoots into the elevator. And I get it, right? Losing it in the elevator would have been unpleasant for both of us and anyone who came in right after. Open air farts are better. Except as the doors were closing, we see a man round the corner, step right into the fart cloud, and gag. We felt bad but also laughed so hard I thought she was gonna pee herself. It makes for a great story now. Too real. Mid-30s here, and I've felt too old to matter for a decade now. It has led to me not taking chances or opportunities like going back to school to finish a degree, or some other things in my personal life, which is ridiculous. I've wasted some of the best years of my life in anxiety over being too old when I wasn't, all while actually aging. I'm older now, yes, but I no longer believe I am too old for the things I want. Never be afraid to pursue your happiness. Screw the people who get weird about age. It really is just a number. I remember vividly the first time a boy in middle school told me you should probably shave that and pointed at my thigh. I asked what he was referring to because I could not, for the life of me, see anything there even with my glasses on, and he pointed again, showing me in the sunlight my very white, blonde black hair. What a strange, new feeling that was to experience. Edit. My notifications are full of multiple anecdotes that share the same theme. Fucking heartbreaking, seriously. Be me in 6th grade me. Persian F and therefore harrying dark F. We were all walking to the soccer field together during when some kid I didn't know at all said very loudly, "Your arms are so hairy. They're hairier than mine." That was fucking embarrassing. I went home and cried all night. My mom wouldn't let me wax or shave at that time, so she decided to bleach my arm hair. I felt a bit better about it, even though you could still tell my arms were hairy. Then the next day the kid singles me out again and says, "You bleached your arm hair." That's pathetic, and then everyone laughed at me. So I stole my dad's razor and shaved my arms, and then was stuck shaving my arms every day or two until I was 17 BC. I was so self-conscious. Also embarrassing BC. Every time someone would touch my arms it would be prickly BC. I was shaving them. That was a fun time. In a class aged about 15, the light must have been at the angle that shone through my facial peach fuzz. A lad who was top plaid, you know the one. Inexplicably popular, all the lasses fancied him, gangly as fuck but all the cool girls think he's fit, etc. etc. Comments on said peach fuzz, making snarky comments about how I have a beard. Turn to him, in a quiet moment in the class, and tell him that at least my beard is visible enough to be commented upon. Unlike his, a rare high point in my school days. I have like 8,000 stories about this. The first time I realized I was supposed to be ashamed of hair was around 11. My mom made me wear a sundress and take photos, as mothers do, and I posed with my arm up. Her face went sour and she said, "Put your arm down. Your hair is disgusting. You're not a little girl anymore." My face went hot with shame and I immediately dropped my arm. The rest of the evening went by silently.